So for the quick grid, we're going to pick up a little bit of drawing fluid and we're going to find our halfway points in all of the sides. Now, here is a trick. When you draw the quick grid, you'll get to where you can freehand it, but here's my trick for actually making a template. And you can just have this template handy. Okay, so I just have an 8x10 template handy. You're gonna probably crop all of your images to 8x10 ratio, and you're gonna get all your 8x10 canvases. And so chances are you'll just be able to use the same template over and over and over. For some people, it's a little hard to eyeball the halfway points. So just fold your paper like we would do in kindergarten. And then you'll unfold it. Then you just take your drawing fluid and you're just gonna hold it up real quick. See, I was a little bit off there. You're just gonna make a little mark here where your midpoints are. And then one on this side. Okay, now I want you to lift that off and I just want you to kind of go straight across best you can, midpoint to midpoint. All right, and because we have this little reference photo, this is the one I put paint all over earlier, we can fold this as well. That's why I have you have a couple of reference photos, because you're gonna beat up on this one. Okay, now it's kind of hard to see where those are, so you can just kind of mark with your paintbrush. And you might want to tape that back down. Boy, that printer ink is just terrible. It just comes right off. Okay, so now we have the location of our center point. And now we can reference the next set of halfway points. So I'm gonna go halfway between here and here, which that's a little bit easier to, you know, eyeball that. Halfway between here and here, halfway between here and here. And however you do your quick grid here, you can do it, you know, you can do whatever you need to do to mark things out. But however you mark it here, you want to mark it the same way on your canvas. Now, it's so crazy how after doing this over and over, you'll get really fast at it. So my students that come to my Monday night workshop, they sit down when they come in, and before I even start class, they're over there and they're just marking their halfway points, getting their quick grids ready, and they're over there drawing their images. So you really do get used to this CKM method, and it's just a really great way to draw. All right, so one more thing on the quick grid is that if I can imagine where the center of each of these quadrants is, okay, just kind of eyeball it. Okay, that's also really going to help. Now you might be asking, well, why don't you just draw a whole nother set of lines here? And you can, if you want to, you can go ahead and just, you know, break this whole thing down again. But the reason I like to do this is because when I have the dots in my mind, it helps me to place different things. And when I have dashes and long lines and a set of dots, it's a little easier to reference all these points than if everything looks the same and it's all a whole bunch of little tiny boxes. you know, there's a chance you might get confused as to which box you're in. And so that's why I like to break the grids down with different types of marks. So that's the way I recommend it, but you can try whichever way works the best on your quick grid, then you can do that. So now that we've done our quick grid, we are ready to draw using line.